Hello and welcome to Lesson 10 for Anatomy and Physiology. Today we are going to go ahead and start the digestive system. So what are some functions of the digestive system? Well, one, you're going to take in food and ingest the food. That's what we call to take in food. Digestion actually means to break down that food into molecules. Then we need to absorb those nutrients into the bloodstream and finally get rid of what we don't need in the form of feces or defecate it. So we ingest food, we digest it, we absorb it, and then we defecate it. So the organs of the digestive system are divided into two groups. One, we call it the alimentary canal. And the easiest way to think of the alimentary canal is it's just the long tube that literally starts from your mouth and ends at your anus. That's all the digestive system really is. It's one giant tube starting at the mouth and going all the way through your body. And then your accessory digestive organs are going to be things like your gallbladder, your liver, maybe even your tongue. Those are all going to be your accessory organs. Your teeth is another example of an accessory organ. So the alimentary canal is also known as your GI tract, okay? A lot of times if you're having intestinal problems or digestive problems, you go see what's called a GI doctor, a gastrointestinal doctor. And basically this is your long tube that goes through your entire body. It consists of the following organs, and this is also the correct order in which food is going to flow through your body. So it's kind of important to recognize that this is also the correct order of organs. So you have the mouth, the pharynx, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, and then the anus. So first we're going to get into the mouth. So the mouth is also going to be known as your oral cavity, and this is where food is going to enter into the GI tract. Your lips are going to be the outer portion of the mouth to protect it. Your cheeks are going to form the lateral part of the mouth, and then the hard and soft palate are going to form the top of your mouth. And if you stick your tongue in the roof of the mouth right now, the part that's closer to like your lips is going to be really hard. That's where your hard palate is, and it's actually a bone of the skull right above that. And then as you kind of move your tongue backwards, it's going to start to get softer. That is called your soft palate, and it's going to form basically kind of the back of the mouth. You also then have your uvula, which is your kind of fleshy finger-like projection at the back of the soft palate. Okay, so here's your lips. We also have that's your cheek. Here's your lips, and then the uvula is kind of what you see to look at your tonsils. All right, then you have the tongue, which is going to occupy the floor of the mouth, and then the oral cavity proper is going to be anything that's contained by the teeth. And then if you kind of take your tongue and push down on the floor of your mouth, you're going to see that there's kind of like a fold of skin there. That's called the lingual frenulum, and this actually helps you keeping from actually swallowing your tongue. That's impossible. You hear that kind of rumor sometimes about people swallowing their tongue. You can't swallow your tongue. Okay, so the tongue would be in here. The lingual frenulum is going to be below it, so it keeps it from moving posteriorly. Then we have our tonsils, which are going to be lymphatic or immunity tissue, and you actually have two pairs of tonsils. The palatine tonsils are the ones that we're really familiar with when you look in the mirror at the back of your throat. Those are your palatine tonsils. And then the lingual tonsils are going to be basically right below those palatine tonsils at the base of the tongue. And these become really inflamed and painful when you get sick because it is a body's defense mechanism. And then a really important term that we need to talk about is mastication. Mastication means to chew. So when you hear that term mastication, we're actually talking about the chewing of food. Okay, and just one last picture of the mouth. You can see here's those palatine tonsils, and then the lingual tonsils are in the back. All right, the last organ we're going to talk about on this video is the pharynx, and then we'll take a break. So the pharynx is basically where food is going to get kind of tossed into after you swallow from the mouth. And there's a bunch of different parts of the pharynx. The oropharynx is actually going to be above kind of where the throat is. So we're going to talk a lot more about that when we get into the respiratory system. Below that is the laryngopharynx, and this is going to be basically right behind the mouth, and it's going to connect with the esophagus. And the pharynx actually has skeletal muscles that allow you to swallow, basically, and propel food down into the esophagus. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a break here, and then we're going to come back and talk about all the tissue layers of your alimentary canal.